It's time for Uncle Hank. Question Everything with M. Kalani Souza and Uncle Hank Ferguson.
Hey, gang.
So crazy.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Uncle Hank, where we question everything. I guess it's our Kanakanacity, the way we attack things. You know?
Good. That just hits the bell, bro. I was watching this program the other night. It was a public television program called Kanakology.
Kanakology.
And they just happened to be talking about federal recognition in a certain sense.
Wait, let me get this straight. You were watching a show called Kanakology about Fed recognition?
Well, it was actually an interview with who's that gal? Danner.
Robin Danner,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She's kind of infamous. She's been around.
Yeah, she's been around a long time, and she's, I got to hand it to her. She's a very polished lady.
Oh, brilliant, excellent,
really
smart. I think she worked for Senator Stevens in Alaska.
And she also worked with Illinois, too.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, so what I wanted to talk about here is it's really important because there's such, this game of playing propaganda and expounding a certain way, to lead you to a certain part. There's an art to that. But what part of that art is how not to tell you stuff that you need to actually know.
Oh, you mean facilitation?
Yes. To facilitate you, but not allow you to bring up the thing that really is on your mind.
I've noticed that too. Facilitation seems to be that tool, the framework, the weapon they use to control participation in the room.
What do they tell you? Stick to the agenda. You had nothing to do with the agenda in the first place.
Right.
Anyway, what I wanted to talk about was this idea of tribalhood. Okay, now I know we've talked about this before. But it's really, really important because you have to ask the question, why do they keep wanting to make you a tribe? What's with this? Okay, there's a lot of really good reasons. First reason,
are you talking like the way America is trying to make the Hawaiians like a Native American tribe?
Yes, and you got to understand, this is backcasted. We're not trying to make ourselves a tribal group. They are trying to make us a tribal group.
Trying to identify the Hawaiian nationals, those who were relating to the Hawaiian kingdom as something other than other nationals, but national Americans.
Why this is important is because this tone in this meeting was set toward Hawaiian homeless people. Okay?
So people that apparently look like they're serving the Hawaiians' best interest.
Yes, like the Hawaiian Homes. Okay, so...
But all of Hawaiian Homes is actually part of a federal act. The very act of applying for Hawaiian Homes is like a plebiscite. It's like agreeing that you're going to be a ward of the United States.
But that's, in fact, what it's doing. However, if that's what they want you to think, okay? You have a superior mind, bro. I cannot blame you for taking Hawaiian Homes when you took it because you needed to do it, okay?
But taking any home, getting any home is a good idea.
I talked to 90% of the Hawaiians I know of Hawaiian Homes. They don't think they're part of the United States.
Uh-huh.
And so what I'm trying to say, this is really important because with this federal recognition thing, one of the things that they don't, or they continually tell you, is there'll be no new land. No new land.
And by no new land, do they mean there's no more volcanoes erupting? Or you talking they're not going to give any more portion to Hawaiians?
No more portion to Hawaii. However, 80,000 more people just qualified for it.
Listen, the entire thing is the Hawaiian Kingdom. The fact is the United States is here illegally. They can't change that fact.
Yes.
I want to point out, after World War II, the United Nations decided that all other, particularly Pacific nations, had the choice of either being independent and sovereign or falling as a territory or joining some other country. Now, the only people who didn't were the Hawaiians. They were given the choice of either being a territory under the United States or becoming a state. That's it.
That's all.
The U.S. didn't say anything else because, that's the game. Omit. I think that's what you were talking about earlier, right? The way they omit.
Yeah, they omit certain words. And really,
certain
you
concepts.
Need to really understand this concept because, first of all, you're crazy if you think they were doing you a favor when they created the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act. Okay?
That
Because
was
they
Jonah
gave-
Kohio, right?
Yeah, I don't care who it was.
No, but he headed over there on his own, right?
Yes.
What legal authority did he really have to do anything?
He was a congressman.
Right, he was appointed by, the people that took over.
So what's really important to understand is the way I heard this program the other night with Robin Denner. She was talking about, she had actually two pieces of language that were very good if you actually caught it. One was called the Dawes Act, and it's a very important act to understand. This other act that goes along with it is called Land and Severability Act. Okay, and that's when they grabbed the natives, whether you be a tribe or not, get you all bunched up into an area. Let's call it Hawaiian homes this time. And then they say, we need to break it up. They're too close together. They've got too much control over things. So they ask each individual, they start playing this individual game. You get your land, you get your land, you get your land. And whatever land was not occupied or not given out through the right way, which that hasn't been at all, is lost to the United States now.
Well, here's the thing, from the onset, Spanish-American War, from the planned destruction of the Maine so that the United States could pretend they were at war with Spain, this is illegal seizure of the Hawaiian Kingdom, a staging area for coal for the United States. Stop playing the game, okay? We all understand. At this moment, when tensions are ramping up in the Pacific, compact agreements are ending, and things are getting dicey with China and the Philippines, India and Iran, we don't need a war and we don't need tension. So, how did the president put it? Stand down and stand by. You know what I mean? Nobody's saying you've been bad partners. Okay, I'm saying it. You've been bad partners. Okay. But the thing is, we can do better. We can do so much better.
We can do so much better for ourselves. Okay, so anyway, the reason I brought this whole thing up in the first place is from one simple standpoint. There's going to be no new land. So no matter how many of you determine how many you are, you're not going to get any new land, and the land that you got is the worst they could have gave you in the first place.
So they're keeping everything they've taken illegally.
Yes.
All the U.S. federal lands, all the state lands that are all illegally seized, they're going to keep it anyway.
That federal recognition would be saying to them, I'm satisfied with this 200,000 acres we got, even though only 50,000 of it's actually used. But thanks.
You know what? I don't recognize that kind of behavior. Not from anybody's government, certainly not from the U.S. of A. The idea that we would be unjust and untoward towards a minority population of people of color. Wow, what a surprise. What a surprise. Like, that hasn't been going on in the U.S. for the last 500 years.
Think this, bro. I gotta throw this in this real fast one. I just got a paper from Kona. You know that new housing area, Laopua?
Yeah.
They're adding on to it. And a lady friend of mine got an opportunity to throw her name into the slush thing. Yeah?
Oh, you mean the little raffle selection?
The little raffle selection. But dig this.
Buy.
Dig what it's for. It's for a 15-year lease with option to buy from Hawaiian Homes. So
you option to buy. What do you mean? Like a 15-year lease, like a rent-to-own kind of program?
Yes.
You mean Hawaiian Homes is being like a furniture rental shop
I
now?
think we better look at that. Ask yourself, go look at it.
Dang, now that's something
You're
to
not
question.
even getting an award now. You're getting a partial award. So what happens to that 15 years of money?
Gang, I'm
it doesn't
telling
affect you. This goes to us. This is called, let me put it in this bucket. You guys not watching that?
Owie, gang. Owie.
Watch. There's a bro, I wanted to tell you something. There's a reason why we're doing this show, and it's called Ask Questions, okay? We're hoping that you, too, will feel empowered to ask questions, because it's not like you don't see it.
Yeah.
You see it, too, bro.
Question everything, people. You heard it here always with Uncle Hank Fergus from me, M. Kalani Souza. We'll see you next time on Uncle Hank.
Aloha.
Come be a part of a minority view.
Ao he pau ike, I ka halau ho o kahi,